put our paint away. And what we're going to use is a product called foil adhesive, which you can find on my website if you put exclamation mark website. So it is liquid, and I'll show you how liquidy it is. And if you find it a little bit too thick, you just give it a squirt of water. Hey Nicole, how are you? Like this, with one of those squirt bottles. So I'm going to mix this like this with the water, because sometimes it's very hard if you apply it on, if you try and use it when it's thick, it won't work as well. Hey Jill, how are you? I hope you're doing well. And I'm just going to use my dauber. And I'm going to, you can use a paintbrush, you can use a roller, you can use anything you want. And I'm just going to dab it on. If I use the dauber, I don't, I end up with no, I'm just going to move this. I end up without pencil, or I mean brush marks. And now comes the hard part of, the hardest part, and that is waiting for 45 minutes to an hour for this to tack up. Yeah, I like the dauber too. And this is the same dauber I used from last time, by the way, Jane. I just wrapped it in press and seal and left it. So you leave this for 45 minutes. I'm going to put it aside. And you wait. Now, I found these at Hobby Lobby, and I was curious to see how they would react with foils. I'm not going to paint them. It's not. I wonder why. Can you try the Etsy, Betty? That's weird. I haven't done anything. I haven't touched it. I'll look at it in a bit. So this is, what is it called? An acrylic tag. And it comes, wow, I wonder why. That's weird. Okay, I'll check it out, Betty. So I removed, it comes with paper on both sides that you have to remove. So sorry, I lost concentration. So we're going to try it on the acrylic. We know it works on glass, but this is an easy way of making tags. And I'm going to leave that aside. Oh. Yeah, I haven't touched the website. I haven't touched anything. And I'm wrapping this up again for the next time. So I'm going to remove this out of the way and wait 45 minutes, but I'm not going to make you wait 45 minutes for the next 3 projects. So let me just get the first one. And for this one, this is what you would end up with. So this has had 2 coats of black paint. It's also had 1 coat of the adhesive, and I've had it sitting here for about 2 hours. Yes, I'm just using leftover papers. I mean, leftover pieces of wood that I had. So I'm going to cut, and I'm going to use this, and I know this isn't wide enough, so I'll probably need more. And this is called Spring Break. Now, when you're applying your adhesive, make sure that there are no bumps or lumps. If there are, just remove them, like I just removed this one. It was a tiny, tiny one. And I always advise, if you're going to leave this overnight, paint it, if you're going to apply the foil overnight, cover it. I'm just removing the little specks of dirt that I seem to have acquired, if I can. This one seems to be stubborn. And I've got one more here. And it's always, if you see those whilst you're brushing on the foil adhesive, thank you, Rennie. Thanks, Betty. It's usually easier to do this when you're applying the adhesive. So now I'm going to attempt to transfer this, and it doesn't matter if there are wrinkles. No sanding. After you apply your foil adhesive, you cannot sand because it's very tacky. It sticks to everything. We get our brush and we brush it in. Now, if you end up with an edge like this, don't foil up to that edge, because there's nothing worse than having a straight line in the middle of your project. So just try and hold it up. Like this. Because I'm not pressing over here, it's not transferring well. But that's okay. I just want to make sure that we don't end up with a straight line. Now do the edges. Now it will not transfer if you do not have foil adhesive. If there's an area that you missed, it will not transfer. And usually I miss an area or two. But you see how this has transferred beautifully? Now let's do this. And you always put the pretty side up. Always. And you can see the outline of where your project is. It does look good, doesn't it? Rainy, if after painting it, like we painted right here, you want to sand, you can do it then. But after you apply the foil adhesive, no. Yeah, I didn't like it. If you're talking about this one, I don't remember how much I paid. He does look like a hippie pumpkin. I don't know how, I don't remember, but what I didn't really notice. I haven't tested it for waterproofness. I haven't really tested it for anything except application. And it seems to apply the same as all the other gloss ones that I've used. I have to be careful here because I tore it, but look at this so far. And you can see it transferring because this has become clear. Can you see how it's clear? I can put my hand through it. So let me see. And this might be the result of a little speck of dirt. And you peel it off gently. And if there's an area that you want to add more, yes, the Maker's Magic by Scorch Marker. See, another area did not transfer here. And I don't know why, but it didn't. Now, you can see here, I either haven't scrubbed it well enough, or I didn't put enough adhesive on. So I'm going to try scrubbing. You put back the foil exactly. You don't remove the whole thing and then check it out. You do it very gently. And any scrub brush will work. Mine is very worn out. You can use a toothbrush, you can use a nail brush. Let's see. Okay, I've got more to transfer, but I'm missing some here. So let's put this back. And let's see if it's transferred well. Yes, it has. There's a little bit here I'd like to add on, so let me put this back. No, I do not. I haven't found, I mean, it's not a bad product, but I have not found any difference. I have not, between that and the gloss that I use for sealing. I have not tested it for water. I think they say it's waterproof. I have not tested it for that. So that part I cannot tell. So let's try now. And I'm just peeling it gently. Right here, I either have not scrubbed hard enough or there isn't enough adhesive. You can see the black through it. Now, I could have painted this pink, blue, orange, any color of these, but what would happen is that you would see, if you're doing the purple over this, it wouldn't look good if you try to, if it doesn't cover 100%. But if you see black, then you look at it and you think, oh, well, it's antiqued or it's old. Yeah, I don't know, Betty. I haven't tested it for waterproofing. And I'm not sure how long I would have to leave the product. Hi, Kimberly, how are you? Outside to say, yes, it worked for being waterproof, or no, it didn't. So I'm just removing here. And again, I'm missing some here and here. I'm just going to add a little bit more here. We're not done. So we've done the basic part, but instead of a straight line here, we have in a regular line. Hi, Maria. Hi, Trina. How are you? And now, I don't know whether this is going to work like this. I'm just going to cut another piece. And you can see, except for the parts that tore off, that we've removed quite a bit. Not everything. For the pumpkin. So thank you, Betty. I'm going to cut out another piece. Let me just make sure I have enough. And now I'm going to start off with the blue. Obviously, I didn't do this big enough, did I? I'm going to start it off here because I want the blues to match. But you don't have to. You can start off with any color you want. So I matched up the blue here. I need to add a little bit more. Hello, Betty. Thank you for sprinkling, Maria. Thank you, Linda. I might have to go back a little bit more for there. Right here, either it is tacky, so I wonder why it didn't take. Oh, well, there we go. It did. There must be a groove in the paper, in the wood. This is cheap wood, but it can happen with any kind of wood. Where maybe the brush and the foil didn't go down well enough into the grooves. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions? Linda, does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to do here. And then I will move it along to do this side. Because obviously, I cut it a little bit too short. And most of the time, and I say this because I'm guilty of that, I miss out a lot of the edges. And they don't transfer very well with me because of that. I'm going to put it back because there's a little bit here that I can add. And let's see over here. Thank you, Jill. So there you have the pumpkin, but we're missing some here, some color. So I'm going to add some of this blue again from here, because I think I also missed some pink. It is very colorful and cheerful. And this is just on a dollar store pumpkin. I may not have put enough glue on here because it's not transferring very well. Hey Miriam, how are you? Hope you're doing well today. I'm going to try a little bit of the pink. So this, obviously, you would paint here black and black, but I was just doing this for a quick demo on Foiling 101. Now you can leave it there, or let's get the next one. Before I forget, just because you finished foiling, that's not the end of your journey. You need to seal it because the foil adhesive remains tacky for forever. It'll just continue to attract dust, and that's not what you want. Now, with this one, I'm going to show you a slightly different method. And I don't know about my choice of colors, but we're going to try this. We're going to crumple this up. I always use Rennie, the gloss varnish from Master's Touch. This is $8.99, but every other week you'll find it 40% off from Hobby Lobby, and that's got almost 8 ounces. So crumple up. No, today I'm just doing the basics. That would take too much. I would have to place the adhesive, and I don't have time for that today. We can do it another time. No, Mod Podge is not a sealer. Mod Podge for me is not a sealer, so no. It's not got enough protection. So I've crumpled up my foil. And remember, when you're placing this, it's always the pretty side up. The release comes from here. So you're going to start. And I'm going to show you what we're getting here. The release is very, very light, but we shall continue. Oh, it's not down? Okay, how's that? Yes, I don't consider Mod Podge a sealer. So we're going to keep moving this around. And when you see it's not really giving out a lot of color, like right now, we're going to add another color. Let's add some purple. I haven't seen any, Remy. I have really not seen any. This is purple. And you can barely see this, but I'll bring it up. Look how it's transferred. And it's very, very light, but you can see it. Paint, even for paint, I don't like, I never seal with Mod Podge, Kimberly. But there, Rennie, there is a, I think that there is a sealer, or am I imagining things? I wonder if there is a glow-in-the-dark sealer. I'm not sure. Because then you can seal with that. And again, I'm not using up my foil. I'm just using bits and pieces from it. Let's try another color. Wasabi Terry. Kimberly, I'm not sure I understand your question. You're asking about paint on varnish. Usually I varnish over paint. And this one is the gold. And you can see where it's going, where it's clear is where it's released. Let me see what other colors. Let's try green. And remember, you can crumple it up. And you can go over some of the areas that you've done already. Look at that. See there? Where my hand is? That's where it's transferred. Okay, let's try some red. And each one will transfer as far as I've got my finger pushing down. So that's why I'm getting these marks. And again, I can go back to some of the areas. Because it's not completely covered. Let's try another color. Another green. Because we haven't done the, we haven't done all of it, all of the colors. We still have, I should have gotten a blue. The top, the head is still not covered. So let's try and add some of this. And I have another gold here, which we shall try. So you can go back and add wherever you want. But there's still some stackiness. Yes, it's just a different look. So I'm going to bring out my silver. And I'm going to place this over here. And I'm going to scrub. And this will continue, this will release in the colors, in the areas that haven't picked up yet. Hey Lori, how are you? Oops. I scrubbed too much. You can still see the colors, but barely. Hi, Carol. Yes, it is, but I don't know why. Okay, I'm going to scrub very lightly. Because I did it lightly, it's showing up more than it's showing up here. But I wonder if it's the foil or if it's the person applying the foil. Let me try this. Let me try adding some of this. The head I'm not very happy with. But let me just add a little bit of gold. So unless well, the other thing you can do, this is operator error, not the foils. But the other thing you can do is instead of dabbing like this, what you can also do is this. And you would get a lot more coverage. And only scrub in the areas that have not transferred. Now I liked it before we added the other color, the silver. But that's just me. And over here, I really like it this way, but let's try and see what would happen. if I scrubbed to make it more pronounced. Let's try the purple. Yeah, I liked it better before the silver. So you can use your brush, your toothbrush, your hand. Gold. So you can still see it's releasing. Even here, I went a little bit harder. So you can keep on doing that until your whole ghost is done. I don't care much for the silver, but I'm just going to do here. I do like it down here, much, much better, but you still have to seal it. So that's the second way of foiling. Let's do some blue actually. I might have used up the tackiness. Oh no, here fine. So that's the second way. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I really like this, but remember you need to seal. So let me move this and move to our third. Our third example. And let me put the name on this one. Thank you, Gwen. This is, yes, spring. And this is what I'm going to be using. And, hold on, where is it? And I'm going to use a stencil. So this is the stencil I've decided I'm going to use. And the good thing about when you use a stencil, you don't need to spray it with anything because your base is already quite sticky. So I'm going to use Hello Dolly. Inside the stencil. Wrong scissors. Yeah, I just got that stencil in a couple of weeks ago. And I'm also going to get my toothbrush and my cow is going to get foiled. Now with the stencil, the one thing you need to be careful of why is your head crooked? What do you see that I'm not seeing? I am just doing the small areas that the toothbrush or the scrub brush will not go in because it's too thin. And usually I suggest when you're going to do that kind of a finish on your project that you don't pick a stencil that's very busy. Because it just won't work. Actually, the stencil, it looks pretty level to me. I'll do the hooves of the cow in a minute, or the legs of the cow. Yeah, you're looking at the top of the pumpkin. I'm starting to create optical illusions. Now, I can do all three animals in the same print, but I'm not. And I know I haven't done the head there, or the feet. So every time you want to add some more, you just put your foil back down. And you scrub. So all I've got are the feet and the head. So I want to make sure. No, they're standing on top of each other. Wrong one. You guys making fun of my animals. Okay, right here, I need to use a small tool that'll let me get in the small areas. And then we've got the boots. Or I can do the boots in another color. Shall I do the boots in another color? Let's see. I'm going to do, this is copper skin. I'm going to do the pig with copper skin. And I'm going to also, oops. I didn't bring pink, Jane. I just brought a couple of things. Just to try out. What did I do with this scissors? Yep. I might do his boots copper. Okay, I just need to get right in between here. And you can see the areas that you've missed because you've still got black. Do this again. And the only thing I didn't do is his tail, but I'll do that right now. Yeah, I just did the pig's ears, Jane. I'm going to, oops, I did his foot a little bit on the cow, but that's okay. And I'm going to do the cow's feet with the copper. Oh, you did? That's great, Betty. So now I've given him copper feet. And let's see what we're going to do with the chicken. I think I might use this.
Maya Bechara. Maya Gmail Bechara.
Hey, hi.
Hi.
I'm in the middle of my live. Can I call you back?
Yeah.
You're okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, fine.
Okay, bye.
Sorry about that, but when it's a call from my kids. And this is called burl wood. And the other one is copper skin. So let's see. I don't need very much of this. She's moving into another apartment today. She stayed at my brother's for a couple of weeks, after she found out the problem. And she's quite happy. But she told me when I spoke to her earlier that she's no longer planning to stay till March. So I was really happy. She misses her nephew. So that's a good thing. Let's do the head of the chicken. Oh, I'm glad. Okay. I am going to do this. And that's why I said don't pick a too detailed stencil, because you're going to sit for hours trying to figure it out. Where's my other? Right there. What, this? This would look great on a frame, especially a plastic frame. that would take it to a totally different level. The only thing about this one is I don't think that it is textile friendly. In other words, I wouldn't use it for clothes. But I would have to double check on that. So now we've done all our transferring of using the stencil. Yeah, I kind of like it too. So I'm going to remove the stencil. And I am going to use, I'm thinking this. I know it's got leopard here, but it's different, a different leopard. Let me just cut this and I'll try and this one is called, what did I say? Did I give it a name? I can't remember the name of this one. But I'm going to start around here only because I want to use the red. We'll see. Now, if I picked a plain color, I would have placed it all on here, but because I picked, and it might be busy. It is busy. And you can barely see the cow. Oh well. It's not okay actually, Betty. It looks pretty terrible. I should have done the peacock. I should have done the cow in a peacock. Well, Rima does it again. Well, it's the point is, I mean, you can really see the the pig and the chicken. The point is the technique rather than the coloring I chose. And again, you notice I am not going up to the top or to the bottom. And I can use this part where the chicken is. I should know by now. Where is the head of my cow? The cow's head is here and I can't see it. So I'm just adding on so I don't waste my paper. Hi, Wanda. Oh, yep. And let's do some red here. At least I didn't mess up the the pig and the pig and the chicken. I'm going to get another piece. Let's get another piece. Yes, I could. Yes, I could. I absolutely could. I could seal it. I would seal it, put the stencil back on, but you would seal first. I would seal, put the stencil back on, and put the foil adhesive and redo. Where is Waldo? I don't know, Betty. Let me just do a little bit here. And then we'll concentrate on this bit. Peel back, check your edges. And sometimes you'll find that the wood is not smooth. It's got dents in it that your brush does not reach. It's a lesson for the technique of using stencils. That's right, Betty. And let's put some here. And don't forget, you need to seal. I can't make out where the head. Oh, that's the tail. And the head is over there. I goofed badly. But what's new? I'm just finishing up this, and this was definitely not the best choice I made, but yeah, find the animals. Find the head. The problem is I couldn't tell the head from the tail. But then it wouldn't be alive unless I did something. But at least it makes it memorable. Let's see it, Gwendolyn. And we've got a couple of areas here. And here. And then remember, you need to seal it. You can see the pig and the hen quite clearly, but the cow is lost cause. Hello, Jessie. Thank you for sprinkling. Oh, really? I'm so sorry. You definitely, you seal it and then go over it with the stencil. One second. Oh, your car is over there? Okay, sorry, I had to open the door to my husband. So you can see where I messed up. And put it back, refoil this, take it off, and apply the adhesive, and refoil, and then seal again. So I've shown you how to do basic stenciling. Basic stenciling, and then the pouncing and the small brush, and I like the pouncing method much better, and these need to be sealed, and then the stencil and foiling. This would have been perfect if I didn't goof up, but that's okay. I also wanted